Welcome to the Strategic Cybersecurity channel hosted by NKFP. If you are new here, thanks for turning in. We are happy to have you. Our main focus today, is we're going to see how the threat landscape can disrupt critical business operation for microfinance institutions in Africa. So when we talk about threat landscape, we divide threat landscape in various categories, such as cybersecurity threats, operational disruption, and infrastructural challenges. You have regulatory and compliance risk, fraud and insider threats. You also have geopolitical and social instability, and natural disaster and climate related threats. Let's start with the cybersecurity threats. How can they disrupt critical business operation for microfinance institutions in Africa, for example? The level of awareness of employees for microfinance institutions is very low. So many microfinance institutions operate in low literacy environments. So where client and staff, they are more susceptible to deception, leading to data breach or financial fraud. So they can use either phishing or spear phishing for high-end executives. You also have ransomware and malware. That's going to be the fundamental basis. They're going to use the weak awareness of the employees to get ransomware and malware inside the system of the organization. So the infected system can lock out microfinance from the core financial data. So basically, the availability of the branch and the headquarters can be impacted. We also have a weak digital infrastructure. This is another cybersecurity threat because sometimes they use locally developed software, and most of the time the software has minimal security testing, so it makes up an easy target for fraudster or hacker. And on top of that, you also have mobile money vulnerabilities because microfinance, in order to increase their revenue, they go more digital. So you have a lot of mobile banking vulnerabilities on if the application programming interface or the customer authentication method are weak, this could be a vector of attack. This is for the first component of the threat landscape, that is the cybersecurity threat. Let's talk about how operational disruption can impact the critical operation of microfinance. There is a shortage of power supply in many countries. Unreliable power supply can affect the critical operation of the microfinance. How? So when branch and digital system in rural area, they may be frequently offline due to power outage. So what is going to affect? It can affect loan disbursement, repayment, and customer service. Also, they rely on internet to get access to core banking system. So more and more microfinance institutions are more dependent on cloud platform or real system. If they are unable to process transaction or send the data without a stable connection, it's going to be a problem. And also, you could also have device debt. Field officers sometimes use tablet and computer or smartphone to collect data and to manage loan. Guess what? If this device are not encrypted, for example, theft and loss can compromise data and disrupt service. This is how operational disruption from infrastructure challenge can impact the critical operation of microfinance institution. we go about, we also mention fraud and insider threats. We try to, in many countries, fraudster and some rogue employee, most of the time with field agent may manipulate loan records, misappropriate funds, or create fake clients. So this is where, when we have weak internal control, this can be a major issue for microfinance institutions. Because if you lack audit trails and rely heavily on manual process, this will increase the risk of undetected fraud. I don't want to, also I want to mention the geopolitical and social instability. In countries where we have civil unrest and violence, they can close bank or microfinance closure, and this can disrupt loan repayment, or conflict on climate migration can make it difficult to track borrowers, recover loans, and offer new service. And starting in the year 2010, we also start to see a lot of more regulatory and compliance risk. And microfinance operating across border, they will face difficulty to comply to those various laws and regulations. And they could be fined. There could be some fine if they don't comply. So there is a huge pressure from central regulator to comply to different law. And you have also licensing and supervision gaps also. Natural disaster. This is where most microfinance who doesn't have a clear business continuity plan can be impacted, because guess what? A physical disaster can destroy offices and records, especially where digital backup are not routinely maintained. So you can have an earthquake, a fire, flood, inundation, and this can impact branch, headquarters, and we can also have data lost. Let's finish this one, wrap up with, we also talk about the cybersecurity threat, the operational disruption from infrastructure challenges. We talk about regulatory compliance and risk, about the fraud and insider threats, the geopolitical and social instability, the natural disaster. Let's conclude this episode by mentioning one key important threat vector that affect the critical operation of microfinance institutions. This is third-party risk and fintech risk. There is an over-dependence of microfinance institutions when they partner with mobile network operators for digital transaction. If there is a network downtime, if there is a fraud in the mobile network system, this can halt the critical service the critical service they offer to the customers. Let's conclude this. The last part of the third-party risk will be the fintech platform risk. Most of the microfinance, they partner with some fintech for loan automation and scoring that can introduce vulnerabilities, data leakage, or compliance violation. So when you see this threat landscape, people may think, oh, this is huge. How those microfinance institutions can address this at the strategic level? Yes, it's possible to address this at the strategic level, because microfinance institutions, they should rely on a CISO or a virtual CISO that will be responsible to lay out the cybersecurity strategy for the microfinance institution. And guess what? Microfinance institutions that are winning the cybersecurity game, microfinance institutions that When they are breached, the breach is minimal, have this in common on the foundation. The assets inventory, the change control and configuration management can be graded to A plus level. Thank you.